Yeah, how to log on and log off from TSO. Yeah, here we have a mainframe and TSO, the TSO, and hit enter. Enter user ID, and hit enter. Enter password, and hit enter. Wait for a few seconds. And you can see ISPF screen, ISPF option here. Once you see that, you hit enter once again. Now you will be logged into, okay, the ISPF primary option menu. That's a main menu in TSO. From where, from this menu, we navigate to all options. We navigate to all options. Then how to, let me show you. I'll open multiple screens here. Okay, there are 3 screens opened. Start is used to create a new screen, and equal to X is used to close the existing screen. Can you see that? There is a screen 4 and 1 F9, screen 1, 2 F9, 3 F9, 4 F9. So F9 is a swap. So 1 F9, 2 F9, 3 F9, 4 F9. Can you see that the screen is changing? There are 4 screens open, but you can see 1 screen at a time. You can't cascade the screens. Guys, can you see that? There are 4 screens opened. Hello? Yeah. So 1 F9, 2 F9, 3 F9, 4 F9. Like this, we need to navigate to multiple screens. Why we need a multiple screens? One screen I'm writing a program, the other screen I'm compiling, the third screen I'm preparing my test data, and the fourth screen I'm seeing the spool where my errors are visible. So first screen to write the program, second screen to compile the program, third screen to prepare the run JCL after test data, and fourth screen is to see the errors. Like this, we create multiple screens. And if you don't want a particular screen, you can close it. Equal to X, equal to X, equal to X. If you close all the screens, for example, there's only 1 screen now. If you close all the screens, it will ask you, okay, ready prompt, log off. So how to log off from the TSO? Close all the screens, then you'll get a prompt, a ready prompt. So here we need to give a log off and hit enter. You'll be logged off. Guys, do you understand how to log on and how to log off?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let me log on once again. TSO. User ID for everyone is a IBM user, but you will have a different user IDs. So let me tell you, I was working with a Consico data services. Okay, CDS is a Consico data services, and my user ID was a PMR, Padala Madhusudana Rao. So this was my user ID when I was working in Consico data services. So when I was working with Innova Solutions, IN0074. Okay, this was my user ID when I was working with the Innova Solutions. So that user ID may be different from one company to the other company. So they take 2 characters from the company name and few characters from the person name, or else they may take characters from the company name and then a number. A number may be there. So it's going to be different one company to the other company. But here, everyone uses the same user ID, IBM user. So can you write an answer for this question? How to log on and log off from TSO? So this one, and hit enter. Sometimes it will ask you, let me show that. If I do some edits or something, I do some edits, now if I close the screen, if I do some edits, if I close the screen, it is going to show you this screen because we made some changes. So it's going to be logged. That is logged in the log data set. Then it is asking me, okay, do you want to print the data set and delete? Do you want to delete data set without printing? Keep the data set and keep data set new allocation. Okay, so no need to worry about all this. Generally, we delete this data set because the log data is not much useful. Every time we log in and you do some changes, it will be logged. So we are least bothered about the log. So what we do? We give option 2. We give option 2 and hit enter. Now we get the log off. Ready prompt, and then log. See, this log data set has been deleted. Now it is asking log, ready, and log off. 1 second, some people are going to join here. Yeah. So hope you understand the log off. If you make some changes, it will be logged in a log data set. While printing the screens, it will ask you, do you want to print the data set? Do you want to delete the data set? Do you want to keep the data set? Like that. So what is the best option? Delete the data set. Option 2 is the best option. Now, let me log on once again. Okay. So how to log on to CICS? Let me create a new screen. So how to create a new screen? See here, I'm talking about a new session. That I'm closing this session. Now again, I'm opening the session. New session. Click a new session here. You'll get a new session. Session C. So how many sessions are there? Session B. So there are 3 sessions available here. Session A is for a booting screen. We will not see that in the real applications. There will be console operator. Console operator. So they will. We never see this screen in the real applications. This screen is maintained by console operators. Second screen is our session B. Third screen is a session C. So like this, we can open multiple sessions. Generally, we open maximum 2 sessions. One is the TSO, one is for the CICS. Not more than 2 sessions in the real applications. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So how to log on to CICS, how to log off from CICS? Someone is trying to join. Okay, next question is, how to log on and log off from CICS. How to log on, log off CICS. Okay. To log on CICS, so we know, right, difference between TSO and CICS. Do you know the difference between TSO and CICS? So TSO is for a batch process, and C online. In TSO, data sets, we write the programs, we compile it, we prepare a test data, we execute the batch jobs. We also create the online programs, we also create the online screens. Finally, we execute the online programs through the CICS. Do you understand? So most of the activities we do it in the TSO. Only few activities we do it. That is registering the online programs, and executing the writing the programs, compiling it, test data, everything is done in the TSO only. So what are the differences between a TSO and a CACS? For batch, this is for online. Though the programs will be written in the TSO only, but the program written in the online, in the CACS. TSO, time sharing option. CACS is a customer information control system. Customer information control system. TSO is a. What is the first panel? First menu you see when you log into the TSO? ISP. So, what is ISPF?
Interactive System Productivity Facility.
Very good. So, interactive system productivity facility, through which that's the first panel, through which we navigate to every option of the mainframe. Okay. So, now coming to the how to log on and log off CACS. I'll show you here. CACS. Enter the CACS, and you'll get a screen like this. So, if your escape button is already mapped to clear button, then press escape button. That's a clear button, so that it will be clear. If you know some transactions, for example, I have some transaction here. So this is a COBOL CACS program, which is sending a map, which is receiving a map, and which is processing the data, which is sending the result again. Okay. So I can change the values like this. Okay. So if I give some incorrect value, I'll get error message saying that not a valid operator. So all this processing is happening in the COBOL CACS program. That COBOL CACS program is sending a map and receiving the map, processing the results, checking for validation of the fields, and finally sending the results or error messages. So this is an online program. So if you know the transaction, if you know how to navigate through the transaction, you can execute the transactions. Okay. So this program and this map, the back program, the screen coding, everything is done in the TSO again. These are compiled in the TSO again, not in the CACS. But once the program is ready, once the maps are ready, once data is ready, then you can come and register the elements in the CACS, and you can execute the transactions from the CACS. But we don't write the program in the CACS. We don't create the screen in the CACS. We create the screen in the TSO itself. We write the COBOL CACS program in the TSO itself. In the TSO itself. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So finally, if you want to log from CACS, okay, we need to use a CESF saying goodbye or good. Good or goodbye, both are same. So CESF good, that means sign off. Sign off transaction. CESF transaction is a sign off transaction. So can you answer these two questions? How to log on and log off TSO, and how to log on and log off CACS?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next one. Let me go to the session B, which is a TSO. And there are a lot of options here. Can you see here? Can I go to the 3? So almost 16 options are there. Again, if I go to M, more options, again 14 options are there. So do I need to remember all these options? No, not required. Okay, these are all options required by administrators, some system programmers, not for developers. For developers, only few options are enough. So what are important options in the ISPF? My next question is, what are important three point 4, 3.2, 3.3? I'll write down here. 3.3, 3.4. That means option 3 and then 2. Option 3 and then 3. Option 3 and then 4. The options. 3 point means that is option. Okay. 3.3, 3.4, 3.13, 3.14. These are the options. Out of that, we extensively use this option. Few times, very few limited times we go into the 3.2. Very rare we go to 3.13 and 3.14. But most will be staying in the 3.4. Option 3.4. Then what exactly we do here? Create PDS and PS. We'll see what is the PDS, what is the PS, that we see little later. Copy a PS to another PS, PDS, PDS or PS to another PDS or PS. I want to copy the data. I want to copy my program from one member to other member. So one program to another program. I want to copy it. In that case, we go to the 3.3. So generally, copy a PDS go here, but copy a PS we go here. Copy a PDS from one PDS to other PDS. So for example, I have some programs in my project leads PDS, a library. We can say library. Programs in my project leads library. I want to copy those. I don't go for 3.3. Generally, I can do it 3.4 itself. But if I want to copy a PS file, okay, from my lead to my PDS, PS, or else from production to my test environment, I go to 3.3. So PS to PS copy in the 4 options I go like this. But PDS to PDS I don't go right here. So I can do it from 3.4 itself. So then what do we do in a 3.4? We'll see PDS and PS later. Don't worry about it. So 3.4. First of all, let me show you. This is the time to explain about the PDS. Hold a second. Hold a second. Someone came here. Yeah, sorry for that. So what is a PDS? What is a PS? Let's see that. I'm going to 3.4. I'm entering a library name, okay, demo.cobol. And you open it. If you open it, we can see members. See here? These are all my programs, JCLs and all. So a PDS contains, like nothing but a library, contains elements. So the elements may be a COBOL programs, these elements may be a JCLs. What are various elements available in the mainframe?
So element means storage of data or what?
I'm coming to that. Element is not a storage of data, it's a storage of program. Okay, what we write in the applications. Okay, so those are COBOL programs, copy books, we'll do that later. Okay, JCLs, procs, control cards, and then BMS screens. These are all elements. So if you get a requirement in mainframe to make some changes in existing functionality, either you need to write a new program, or you need to modify existing program. The layout, structure of the files, we generally keep it in a copybook. We run the COBOL program using JCL. Generally, we keep the step by step. For example, there are 5 steps required. Generally, we keep it in a proc rather than a JCL. That proc we call from the JCL. So proc is also a JCL. Proc is also a JCL. But it's a reusable code. We keep it in a proc. For example, I need 5 steps in 4 different JCLs. So I keep that in a proc and I call from the JCL. So then BMS screen, control card, we see that later. So COBOL programs, JCLs, procs, and copybooks. Okay. So these are all elements. These are all elements. So if you get a requirement to make some changes in the existing application, or else you are writing a new functionality. So you need to make the changes in one of these elements, or you need to get one of these elements, or some of these elements. This is all coding. The code is kept in these elements. The code is kept in the elements. Say, for example, I got an environment. Last time I told you in the last class. Okay. So there is a requirement. There is a requirement where I need to extract some data from the premium table into a file. That file is compared with another file. Okay. Using a program 2 and generate a program. So this is my element. Program my element, okay, which is reading my table and writing into a file. Guys, do you understand? Program 1 is my element. Program 2 is my element.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Program 2 is my element. Not file 1, file 2 are not my elements. Those are storage of data. Storage of data is different. Storage of code is different. Storage of data is different. Storage of code is different. Okay, so I'll show you here. I showed you a bonus program, right? This is my program. This is an element. Okay, this is my JCL. This is also an element. But in the JCL, I am using a file, input file and output file. So where is the code kept in mainframe? So in these elements, in the COBOL programs. In the COBOL programs, code is always in the COBOL programs, and we use some copybooks. We see that later. Copybooks and control cards we see later. Okay, this program is executed by JCL. This program is executed. We cannot execute the program directly. We need a JCL to execute the program. If it is a batch program, then if this program is required in multiple places. This set of rules are required in multiple places. We use a proc. And if it is an online screen, so we need a COBOL program and also BMS screen. So these are all the elements. These are called elements contain a code. So where is the data kept? Where is the data kept in the mainframe? Here, PS files, VSAM files, DB2 tables, IMSD segments. So in these places, we keep the data. Data is processed in these programs. This data, the data that is kept in the files or tables are processed in a programs. This program is executed by JCL. Do you understand now?
Yes, sir.
So where is the data kept in mainframes? In these places. PS files, VSAM files, DB2 tables, IMSDB segments. In these places, we keep the data. This data is processed with some rules in the programs. This program is executed by JCL. And generally, the steps are given in the procs, and the proc is executed by JCL. Okay, so this is how we go through this is where we keep the code and then data. The code is kept here. The code is kept here. Data is kept here. So code is written into libraries. In the library, we create a library. Within the library, we write the elements. In each element, we write code. See here, this is my library. This is my library. If you open the library, we see elements. These are all elements. So if you open any element, it will have a code or it may have a JCL. Do you understand? So PDS contain elements. PDS contain a code in the form of elements. So what are the various elements available? COBOL programs, copybooks, CLs, procs, control codes, and then BMS screens. Okay, so now what we do in a 3.2, create a PDS or a PS. Okay, then copy a PDS or PS to another PDS or PS. 3.3. Then 3.4. So a lot of things we do in a 3.4. Mostly we will be staying in a 3.4. For example, I want to write a new program. I go to 3.4. I want to compile my program. I go to 3.4. I want to prepare my test data. I go to 3.4. I want to see my results in an file. I go to 3.4. I want to copy one program. I go to 3.4. I want to delete a program. I don't want this program. I want to delete it. So I go to 3.4. So the most used option in the entire mainframe is a 3.4. That is a dataset utility, the dataset list. Dataset list. List out the datasets. For example, if I give a demo.star, it will list out all the libraries or all the files, whatever it is, all the datasets. Generally, we call it a dataset. General term is a dataset. That may be a PDS or that may be a PS. It's called a dataset. So PDS contain members, whereas a PS contains a data. Let me show you the difference first of all. So I open this one. So if I open it, if I see data, that's called a PS. If I see members, you can see here. If I see members like this, then it's called a PDS. Do you understand? If you see members, if you see members in the in a data set, that's called a PDS. I'll show you a PS. I can use any name, but I have used sample dot file names, PS file names, and demo dot for a PDS. Like that, I have used it. For example, I showed you like a sample dot EMP file. And see here, I'm opening this. I'm browsing it. Seeing elements or a data.
These are elements.
Data.
It's a data. Let me show you. Demo.star compile or else demo.cobol. This is a set. Let me show you. So demo.cobol. Let me see the difference. Sample.emp file. Yeah. Here I'm pressing F9 to navigate, to swap two screens. Can you see that F9? I'm pressing F9.
Yes, sir.
Swapping between two screens. So let's open a PDS here. See here, I'm opening a PDS pause. It is showing members. These are all members. Like a library. If you open a folder, we can see various elements in that. Okay, that may be a notepad, that may be a Word document, that may be Excel sheet. Yes or no? We can't write anything in the folder. We can write in the notepads in the folder, or in the Word documents in the folder, or in the PDF documents in the folder. We cannot write anything in the folder itself. Yes or no? I'm talking about the Windows.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Similarly, we can't write anything in the library, PDS. If you want to write something, we need to create a member and then write that. So PDS contains members. Let me show you here. Whereas a PS contains data. I hope you understand.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay. So what is a PS and what is a PS? Both. If you want to write a new program, if you want to prepare it as some test data, okay, everything we do it in a 3.4 itself. Dataset utility, dataset list, dataset list. This is the dataset utility. So here we create PDS or a PS, or else we can delete, we can rename, all this we can do in a 3.2. Coming to the 3.3, copy. Coming to the 3.4, what we do? A lot of things here. Let me tell you.
Let us.
Create a member in PDS. Okay. Write a program or a JCL or a copybook or record. Okay, all the elements we can write it again. Compile a program. Okay. Submit batch job for execution. Okay. And delete a member. Prepare a test data in a file. Prepare test data in a file. In a PS file. Lot of things like we can browse an element, we can edit an element, we can create a new element, we can compile the program, we can execute the program, we can prepare a test data, we can check the results. In 1 second, I'm getting there. Hold a second. Yeah. Okay. So we do a lot of things in a 3.4.
So this is the process to execution of a program? Whatever you told from create PDS and PS?
I'll show all these. How to create a PDS, how to create a new member in the PDS, how to write a program, how to create.
So there is a confusion about how to write a program, compile and then run.
See, it's too early. I'm going to explain you how to write a program, how to compile a program, how to execute a program, and how to check the results, how to prepare test data. It's too early. So before that, we want to know like what are the impacts of each option in ISPF. Okay. So in 3.2, we create a PDS and PS. Not only that, we can delete a PDS or PS. Rename a PDS or PS. We can do a lot of things here, but we go only to the 3.2 for create a PDS and PS, because delete PDS or PS, rename a PDS or PS, we can also do it in a 3.4. I'll show you here. Delete or rename, okay, a PDS or PS. We can do it from 3.4. So that's the reason only to create a new data set, go to the 3.2. A very rare to copy the data, we go to 3.3. Okay, but mostly we'll be staying in the 3.4 because we write a new programs, we compile the programs, we prepare a run JCLs, we prepare a test data, we execute it, we check the results, we edit the program if you're not getting a proper results, then we compile it. So what, from where we do all this? 3.4. Try to understand purpose of each option. Don't go into depth of this because anyhow we'll be going to there. We'll be using these options. On an overview, on a high level, okay, try to understand the importance of each option. Hope you understand.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So only to create a PDS, we go to the 3.2. Once you create the PDS, one PDS is enough to write thousands of programs. So do we need to go every time to 3.2 to create a new member? No, new member is created in 3.4, not in a 3.2. Only one time we go into 3.2 to create a PDS. If you want to create another PDS, you go again. But if you want to create a new program in existing PDS, so where we go? 3.4. Write a program, write a JCL, write a copybook, control card, whatever, VMS screen coding, everything we code it in the 3.4. Coding is done in the 3.4. Compilation is done in 3.4. Submitting a batch job, that may be compilation, that may be execution. Everything is done in 3.4. Preparation of test data is done in 3.4. Check results in the output files. We browse it. The browse, edit, view, all is done in a 3.4. I hope you understand.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
So editing a file, editing a PS, editing a PDS member, or a browse, or a view, or a copy. We can also copy, not a PS to PS, but from one member to other member. For example, see here. So I want to do this program. The arith1 is a option C in 3. I'm in 3.4. See here, I'm in 3.4. So 3, 4. So I'm entering dataset name. Okay, I'm opening the dataset. Now I want to copy it. Copy, C, enter. And give the same set name. I want to create a new member here in the same dataset. My program name is arith1. This is arith, arithmetic operations. I did it here. All the COBOL related arithmetic operations I did it here. Now I want to copy this program as arith1. So you can see here. This is the arith1 copied here.
Yes, sir.
So copying the members, if I wanted this member, I can use a D. It is deleted. If you refresh it, it will be removed. So copying a PDS member and then renaming a member, deleting a member, submitting a member for a batch job, batch execution. For example, this program, I'm submitting it. So this is executed successfully. So submitting a JCL, that may be compile JCL, run JCL. There are two types of JCLs. One is a compile JCL. Check whether my program is having any errors or not. Second one is a run JCL. Okay. So execution. I want to execute my program. I want to compile my program. I want to run my program. But both are JCLs here. See, in some advanced systems, like we have a IDE tool, IDE, Integrated Development Environment. There will be a tool, IDE. So where we click a button, F5, press F5 to compile, for F7 to compile, F5 to run. So there may be simple options there, but here we need a JCL to compile, we need a JCL to run the program. Guys, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we write a program, we write a JCL, we submit a JCL for a compilation, we submit a JCL for execution. Okay, we prepare a data in the files. We check the results in the files. If you want another program, so if you want to write a new program again, so we don't write every program from the scratch. Generally, we copy the existing program, we customize it. Yes or no? We copy the existing program. Say, for example, I want to write a similar program. Do I need to write a program from the scratch? Or do I need to copy the program?
Can copy.
Write a copy of the program.
We copy the existing program and we make the changes. So this all we do it in a 3.4. So 90% of the time, a developer will be staying in a 3.4 rather than other options. Only few occasions we go to the 3.2 to create a new data sets, new PDS, or a new ES. Okay. Then 3.13, it's like a 3.13. Compare two members of a PDS or two PS. We compare two files. We compare files. Whether the files are same or is there any difference? Okay. Very rare we go to 3.13. Very rare. And then 3.14 means searchability. Generally, we don't go to 3.14 because it can also be done. This can also be done in 3.4. Let me show you that. 3.14. Okay. So I want to search my PDS to know how many places there is arrays used in a COBOL program. Unstring. Unstring is a statement. Okay. So for example, unstring. I want to find unstring. Unstring in the library. So in all the members, I need to check it. So search the string in this PDS in all the members of the PDS. Star means all the members. Search this string, this verb, this is the COBOL verb. It is going to unstring a bigger string into multiple substrings. Okay, so I want to search this name, this library. Hope you understand.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It is search in progress. So it is here. Okay, unstring. Can you see that? Unstring. Unstring. The key is available in all these places, in all these members. Yeah, I think how many members it is there? Out of 291 members, okay, 10,230 lines processed. Okay, lines found is 8, but members found is 3. The unstring is found in 3 members, but in 8 places. Do you understand? Okay, fine. This is how we use a search utility. But do we really need this? No, not required. Let me show you. I can search it here itself. SRCH for in the top of this. This is called command prompt. This is called a command prompt. Can you see that command here? So this is called a command prompt. So here I can SRCH for search for SRCH for, that's a command. And then unstring. Same results we get it here. So place a cursor here and hit enter. Actually 3 members must be there. Why it's showing that? Leave it. I think it is being 1 second. It should get a strings. Let me show you once again. here also it's available. Why it's not showing? Because the case sensitivity here, there it's not taking a case sensitivity, but here it's taking a case sensitivity. So here we have a string, and so in two members it's found. Okay. In one member there is a case sensitivity. Uppercase and lowercase are used. Generally, we don't use a mixed cases. We use a uppercase only. We write the program in uppercase. We take the data in uppercase because Mainframe is a case sensitive. So to avoid that, take the data in the bigger case and write the program in the bigger case. Never write a small mixed cases or smaller cases. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So 3.14 is a very rare because that can be done in a 3.12. I did it in a 3.4 within a command as for a string, for example, occurs. In how many places this occurs is there? So in these many elements we can see occurs. Can you see that? In these many elements occurs keyword is there. So do we need to go 3.14? If something can be done in a 3.4 itself, we need to go to 3.14? No.
No, sir.
Okay. So mostly we don't go to 3.14. So very rare we compare files. So what we mostly 3.4. And sometimes we go to the 3.2. In this, a copy a PDS to another PDS. Okay, a PDS to PDS. Okay, that we can do in a 3.4. But PS to PS is not possible in 3.4. For that, go to the 3.3. So what are the other options available? Let me close all these. So now tell me, do I understand the difference between a PDS and a PS?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
A PDS is a library to store the elements. Each elements, okay. In each element, we can write a COBOL program or a JCL or a what we can store some code. So we'll have a different libraries actually. We don't create a like this. Generally, we'll have a libraries like this. I'll tell you. What are libraries available? What are various libraries we create in Mainframe? No, source library where we write a COBOL programs. Okay, copy library where we keep copybooks. JCL library where we keep only JCLs. Proc libraries where we keep only procs. Then control library. For each we'll have a separate library, control library, and BMS library where we write a screen coding, and finally load library where we get executables here. So source library, every two are different. So source library program, if you compile the program, it will create a load module. So load kept in a load library, source is kept in a source library. JSLs are kept in a JSL library. Copybooks are kept in a copy library. So procs are kept in a proc library. Try to understand the terminology. Terminology is very, very important. So ultimately, how many elements we create? This is not this element we don't create actually. We write the code here and we compile it, then it's going to be created here. So we don't write an exe file. We create the exe file in the compilation process. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. .exe.
.exe files we never create it. We never write it. It is created in the process of compilation. So source code is not an executable. .exe files are executables. But we don't have a .exe here. The .exe is nothing but a load module and a load library. The PDS that is having all the load modules is called a load library. Okay, and load module, source code and load module. See here, I'll show you here the difference. You can see demo.cobol. So let me show you bonus program. Yeah, this is my source code. This is my source code. See, this is my source code. So I'm taking two files. One file as input, one file as output. One is a EMP bonus file. So I'm using some bonus calculation for active employees. Okay. So now let me show you one in a load module. Same bonus program is here. So see this source code. Can you understand identification division? Can you read it? Identification, program ID. Okay. And this is our comments, which star in the 7th column is a comment. So environment division, input output, file control, select a file name, assign to so and so. So we can read it, yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir, it is.
Yeah. Open input file name, output. One file I'm opening in input mode, one file I'm opening the output mode. Perform until we get end of file. 10 means end of file. Till we get end of file. So I'm reading a file. If it is successful read, if active employee, and if the date of joining of the employee is less than the data I'm passing from the, then I need to calculate a bonus for that employee. So moving input field to output field, and then I'm calculating it. Okay, and then finally I'm writing the output record, and I'm repeating this process until end of file. See that perform and end perform. Can you see that? This is a loop. I'm keeping this entire code in a loop. In the loop. And finally, so before I process this data, I opened the files. I process the data top to bottom. Finally, I close the files and stop it. Stop run. So this is my program logic. So can you understand the program logic? Yes or no?
Yes, yes. Yes, sir.
But can you understand module?
No, sir.
Module.
No, sir.
This is my load module. We can't understand the load module, which is a machine code. Okay, so the source code is not an executable. Load module is an executable. So how do we get this load module for a code? If we compile the program using a compile JCL, then we get the load module. If there are no errors in my source code, if there are no errors in the source code, then it is going to generate a load module in the load library. That load module in the load library is a executable. Hope you understand. So these elements are in the relations are kept. My source code is kept in a source library. My copy books are kept in a copy library. My JSONs are kept in a JSON library. My procs are kept in a proc library. Control cards are kept in a control library. BMS coding is kept in a BMS library. And finally, executables are stored in a load library. So do you understand what are the PDSs required? These are all PDSs, not a PS. These are all PDSs because these are all these libraries are storing some elements. Those elements are maybe COBOL programs. Those elements are maybe copybooks. Hope you understand this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We understood.
Okay. And very important note, we can keep all these elements in a single library. Up to BMS library, we can BMS code, we can keep it in a single library, no problem. Load module and source code cannot be kept in a single library because both are having the same name. See here, this is a bonus, a program, and this is a bonus, a load module, which are having the same name. So if I want to keep my load module here, it is going to replace my source code. Yes or no? Because we don't have a .c. For example, if you have a folder, let me go to the folder. Okay. Let me go to folder. So in this folder, I can keep .java, .exe in the same place because we have extensions. .java, .exe are two different files. pgm1.java, pgm1.exe, which are having same name, but extension is different. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Guys, please let me know.
Yes, sir.
.exe and two different files. Two different files. Okay, but here in the mainframe, source code and load module are with the same name. No .exe here, no .src here. So that's the reason we cannot keep a source code and executable load module in the same library. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Let me come back here. Some questions. Okay. So what are the other options, sir? So out of all these options, 3.2 is very simple. 3.3 is very simple. 3.4, mostly we stay in the 3.4, and it is a very important option. And a lot of options are available in 3.4 rather than other options. Very rare we go to the 3.13, compare two files. Okay. And showing for 3.14 for search, we can do that in the 3.4 itself. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Then spool, where we check the errors. So in our case, it's a M. Our option in our system is a M5ST. This is an option. Okay. So means, yeah, this is an acronym, and the abbreviation is a simultaneous peripherals object online. You don't know. Okay. So that means every batch job what we submit is executed from the spool. It is going to log, okay, the result over there. I mean errors over there. So file jobs and then any batch job is executed from the spool. It is a place where every batch job executed and logged. So the log will be written here. Let me show you that. Let me show start M5ST. Delete all these jobs. All this, how to delete all the jobs. Show all this. So there are no jobs. We cannot delete this job. This is my login job. If I delete this login job, I'll be logged off. Even our login is also bad job. Okay. Like a task manager. It's like a task manager. Every task is executed in a task manager in our Windows. But similar to that, everything is executed from, okay, every batch job is executed from spool. A spool. It is called a spool. Okay. And then let me tell you. Now I'm going to submit a batch. So here I'm submitting my batch job. I got my access to 0. Submission is done from 3.4, but execution job is done from the spool. And log is written in the spool. So if you want, if you have any display statements in the COBOL program, we can see those statements here. These are all written by the program. These are all the program. Understand? Let me show you. There is some error in my program. Okay, I'm creating some error. I'm creating an error. Instead of DSN, I'm giving a DNS, which is a syntax. Should not be a mistake. So I'm submitting it here. I got a error. I got a JSL error. There is something wrong in the JSL itself. So let me go to the spool. So I see the error here. So 8th line, undefined keyword DNS. Let me see where the 8th line. Here, DNS. It is showing errors. So it gives errors and also results. So every batch job, that may be a compile job, that may be execution job, okay, every batch job is executed from spool and it is going to log. So in case if the job is not successfully executed, so we can see the errors from the spool. In case it is successfully executed and if you have some display statements in the COBOL program, those display statements are displayed in the spool itself. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Yeah. So, like a task manager, spool is like a task manager. So every job is executed from the spool, and if the job is successfully executed, we can check some results in the spool itself. Or if the job is failed with some errors, we find a log to know what is the problem with that. We see the error in the spool itself. For example, I'm compiling my program. Let me show you. Not this one. Let me take a program. So I'm editing my program. Okay. There is no period given here. Every division must be ended with a period. Last statement must be ended with a period. Okay. I made two mistakes here. Compiling my program. This is my compile JCL. So demo.cobol is my source library. Okay. And I'm changing my program name. I'm submitting my compile JCL. I'm compiling my program. I'm not executing my program. I'm compiling my program. This is my compile JCL. This is my compile JCL. I need to change my program name here and then submit it. I got max is 8. That means there are errors in my batch job. That means in my COBOL program. So let's see that errors. Go to the bottom. A period was applied on the 14th line. Okay. Before the 14th line. And before the 16th line, a period was assumed. Do you understand? So let's see what is the 14th line. So prior to this, there is a period required. And here a period is required. Okay. So here it is a period required, and end of the program there is a period required. So that means we see the compile errors in the spool itself, not any else. We see the compile errors, we see the runtime errors. Where we see all these? From the spool. That means every batch job is executed from the spool. It may be a compile job, it may be a run job. And we cannot submit any COBOL program without a JCL. A JCL is mandatory to execute a program. Are you with this?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
So it's a place where every job is executed and logged. So if you want to compile a program, if there are some syntax errors, we identify those errors in the spool. The option is M5 ST. And if you want to see runtime errors, again we see that from the same spool. For example, you have a calculator job. See calc. Here I'm passing up number 1 and number 2 and then operator. Now I'm submitting 8. The result is displayed in the spool itself. Result is displayed in the spool itself. See here. Number 1, number 2, operator, and then number 1 plus number 2 equal to 50. Guys, please go to mute. So number 1 plus number 2 equal to 50. So if you have any display state in the COBOL program, you are displaying something in the COBOL program, that display is displayed in the spool itself. If your program is not successfully executed, see, it's a compile JSL run. There are two things. Why do we run the compile JSL to submit a compile JSL? What are two types of JSL available?
Compile JSL and JSL.
So compile JSL run JCL. Compile JCL, it is to compile your COBOL program whether there is a syntax errors or not. Run JCL, it is to process your data using a program logic and generates a result. So this may be failed and this may be failed with some errors. This may be failed with some syntactic errors. This may be failed for the logic. Syntactically it is correct. As per syntax, your program, but as per logic, your program is not correct. So compile JSL doesn't check the logic errors. Okay, run JSL will check the logic errors. You're not getting correct results. Your program is a bit failed with some error. So where do we see that? In the run JSL. Cool. You're compiling a program. You've written a new program. Now you're compiling and checking the syntactic errors. So we submit a compile JSL and we check the errors in the spool again. So for both compile JSL and run JSL, where we check the errors? In the spool itself. I hope you understand.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So let me go to the other options of ISPF. So next option is DB2 interactive, DB2 I, DB2 interactive. So from here, what we do, okay, execute queries, execute SQL queries. There are two ways to execute the SQL queries. One is the application program COBOL. One is without using a COBOL. See, I showed this to all of you. So let me show you that screen. The option. What is that option? DB2 interactive. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
D and one spoofy executive queries, DCLgen to create a COBOL related copybook for the table, and 7 commands is we don't use 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't use all these options. For this we use JCLs. For this we use JCLs. We never care to compile a COBOL DB2 program, to bind a program, to run a DB2 program. We never come here. We go to 7 commands. Choose the errors in a some sort of if my SQL is failed with a -904, we come here. Some utilities are there. Generally, we don't come for these utilities here. We'll have a batch and we come here to change my subsystem. So we'll see all the data. It's too early. To process the SQLs, we come to the DB2 interview. So to execute SQL queries, to create a Decalgen copybooks, copybooks. We'll see all this later. Too early. And then file manager. One of the important option to see the files in a given layout. Now I'll show you what is the difference between these two. So first of all, file manager options. In the more options, spool is all more options. But in the most of the real applications, spool will be in the main itself. SST. See that? SST. Semicolon means enter. And enter and then ST. Yes, enter and then ST. Do you understand?
Sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
generally spool is kept in a main panel itself. In most of the applications. But in our application, spool is kept in a M5ST. The option is M5ST. If someone asks you in the real applications, once you join somewhere, they ask you, what was the spool option you used in our applications? They ask you, says ST, not M5ST. Okay. You guys, please go to mute. The next important option is file manager. Let me show you a file in 1.4. Let me close all the screens. Close all the screens. Now, I don't want to log off. If you close all the screens, it will show you a prompt. If you want to log off, you can log off. Okay. So if you don't want to log off, set 3 again. Now, let me show you. Readable data. You know what is the first field, what is the second field, it starts, where it ends, what is the field name. Can you see all this? Raw data.
Yes.
Data in the notepad without any headings, but data in Excel sheet with the proper headings. Can you see the difference? Data is stored in Excel sheet in a columns. This is the employee number. And this is the employee name, sample data. It's not like this in real applications. I'm showing a sample data. Status, date of joining, and then salary. In the salary again, so up to here it is an integer. Okay, let me show you. Let me edit this data. So I have data like this. Now, I say this first 4 bytes is employee number, the next is employee name, the next 1 byte is employee status, next 8 is employee date of joining, the next 9 bytes salary. Out of that 9 bytes, the 7 bytes is integer, and the last 2 bytes are decimals. I need to say all these to you. Is it readable, first of all?
No, sir.
No, sir.
It's not much readable.
No, sir.
Let me take you to the file manager. How you see the data? You see that difference? Now, first of all, this file is having a layout, a structure. Let me show you the structure here. Here, this is the structure of the file. So the employee record is having a first employee name number, which is a 4 bytes length, alphanumeric, and the second one is the employee name, 10 bytes length. The third is a employee status, 1 byte length. Employee date of joining is of 8 bytes. Salary is of 7 bytes in the integer and 2 bytes decimal, and it doesn't take extra memory for the decimal. Any extra memory for the decimal. Total length of this is a 9 bytes. So 7 integer and 2 decimals. I can use like this. Yeah. Now tell me. So 7 integer and 2 decimals. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
And this is an assumed decimal. This is an assumed decimal. It takes extra memory. Think about the 1960s. 1960s, where the mainframe was created. So that time, the memory was very, very precious. So they did not provide extra memory for the decimal. They used an assumed decimal. Okay, if you want to show it to the users, then we convert that into decimals and then we show it. Otherwise, it will be assumed decimal. Do you understand?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me take that file. This file structure is stored here in this PDS. This is a PDS. This is a member. This is a PDS. Member, and this is a copy library. In that copy library, I have a copybook. This copybook is used to use this file. So for this, we need to go to File Manager. So the option is start M13 in our system. M13. So first of all, let me go to Start. New screen, M. I'm using M, more options, enter. 13. See here, what is the 13? File Manager. So select option 30 here and browse this data set and view the file name here, sample.emp file, and where this file copybook kept, Can someone tell me? My copybook is kept here. One second. Yeah, my copybook is here in the copy library. What is the copybook name? EMP. What is the copy library name? Demo1.cobol.copy library. Guys, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Copybook is kept in a copy library. The copy library name and copybook name, both are required. Okay, let's go to here. So I want to see this file with this CP EMP copybook. This copybook is kept in the copy library. See that? See this file with this copybook, and this copybook is kept in this library. Now, do you understand?
Sir, understand.
See this file using this copybook, and this copybook is kept here. So it has a structure, and this data is written with this structure. So if I directly open this file, I can't see the structured data. But if I open this file with this copybook, I can see a structured data. See? Do you feel the difference now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So let me show you the file name. 1 second. See the difference here? This is actual file, but this file is visible. 1 second. Okay. Yeah. See the difference here?
Yes, sir.
This file is not in a readable format, but this is in a readable format. It is showing a dot also here. But whereas here, it's not showing a dot. You have to assume it. And there is no separation between the different columns. There is no column heading. So which is more readable? As a file manager or a 3.4?
Yes, sir. File manager.
File manager, sir.
File manager.
File manager. So we use that option. So these are the options which are very important in the mainframe. Apart from that, some tools called Endeavor, Expeditor, Abendade. Okay, these 3 tools are there. We'll see the tools later. It's too early. To debug a program, we use Expeditor. To maintain the versions, we use Endeavor. To know append related information, more information about the append instead of a spool. Spool doesn't give much information about the append. So if you go to the Abendade, it will give a more information about the append. If my program is not successfully executed, so what is the reason behind it? It gives more information in the Abendade. Okay. Yeah, let me take for 15 minutes and then I'll wind up because I have an interview at 11:30. Okay.
Sir, what is proc library?
Yeah, we'll see all this later. See, for example, I told you here. There are 5 steps, right? In my requirement yesterday, the last class I. So
Yes.
first step is extracting data from the and writing into a file. Second step is taking the file 1 and another file is there, which is an adjustment file. So the premium has to be adjusted with this file. Okay, this file 1 has to be used in the program 2 and then do some comparison and then do some adjustments and then write file 3. And it has to be sorted in the next step. So file 3 is sorted and kept in a file 4. And file 4 is used in program 3 and written as a report, which is a format, so that end user will look into this report only ultimately. Okay, so it has 5 steps, right? All steps we need to run with the test JCL, test JCL, test JCL, then integration JCL, then UAT JCL. So if I get a new requirement, I cannot directly write and execute in the production. So it has to be tested thoroughly. The 3 testing environments, and finally it has to be executed in production. So now, instead of keeping all the 5 steps in every JCL, Okay, because file names are different. Integration file names are different. DB2 table system name is different. Okay, so different environments will have its own file naming convention, database naming convention. So instead of writing and executing all these 5 steps every JCL, what I do is I write all these steps in a proc procedure. Keep these steps in a proc, and we call the same proc from the test JCL different qualifiers, and integration JCL with the different qualifiers, and production with different qualifiers. So the common code which needs to be executed from multiple JCL, we don't keep it in a JCL, we keep it in a proc. I hope you understand in a high level.
Yes, sir.
So that's called a proc. Yeah, we'll see all this later. Too early. But try to understand, just for this terminology. Terminology is more important. A JCL, proc, copybook, okay, source library, load library, copy library, control library, BMS library, okay, a spool, 3.4, 3.2, PDS, PS, these are all the new terminology you're getting into. Okay, fine. Right. So what are the options available now? The most used option is in an entire mainframe. What is the most used option?
3.4.
3.4.
The second most used option?
3.4.
No.
File.
Second most
3.2.
No. Spool. Spool. We call the programs, we check the errors. Okay, we fix the errors. So from where? Spool. And the next important options are, okay, yeah, DB2 Interactive and File Manager. DB2 Interactive and File Manager, next important options. And then 3.2. Options are very rare. So after hundreds of options, see here in the mainframe, I didn't use all these options, really. So let me show you. So I never went to settings, I never went to one view, to edit. I'll just go through 3.2. If I want to edit something, I can edit from 2. Or if I want to view something, I can go for view. But I can have those options 3.4. Then why should I go for 1 and 2? I directly 3.4. I never went into the foreground. I never went into the batch. I never, sometimes we go into Cics command. Sorry for that. I'll have to write it here. Right, Cics command, option 6. Command. One of the important option. So if you want to transfer, programs from mainframe to PC to mainframe, let me show you that. Option 6. And go to transfer and send to host. That means from PC to mainframe. Host means mainframe. Let's see from host. Mainframes to PC. So receive from mainframes, send to mainframes. Receive from mainframes. Where do you receive it? Into receive from host. So now file name is sample dot. I want to download it into my desktop. What is happening? What happened? Let me write again. I think I closed it. It's closed it. Right. See here, I want to sample dot emp file or else simply file dot txt. I want to copy it into text format. So now receive. So let's see 9th batch. Somewhere I have 9th batch here. I need to clean my system. Yeah. So that EMP file. Is it transferred or not?
Yes, sir. Data is transferred. Yeah.
So similarly, if you want to transfer from PC to mainframe, from mainframe to PC, either maybe programs or maybe data, whatever it is. Okay. For example, your end user is asking some data from the DB2 tables. You have executed a SQL query, so you know how to extract data. You extracted it, but you want to show it to the end user. He cannot go to the PS. He cannot open a PS file. The data is stored in a PS file. Let me show you. So my end user asked him to get some data. So I went to DB2 Interactive. So I have executed a query. I have executed a query like this. Select star from EMP. Now I executed it. It is written into db2.data, a file called db2.data. Now I want to copy that into mainframe to PC, and then I need to export the Excel sheet. Then I need to send to the customer. So for that, what we have to go to command 6, option 6. Yes or no? Because my end user doesn't know how to log into TSO, how to browse a file that is stored in a file. I executed my query. My query is in a picture. I executed my query and I have written that I got the data in the output file, PS file. So now I want to show this data to my end user. So what to do now? First, I need to download that file from mainframe into PS. Let me show you that. Okay. Let's go to .6 and transfer, receive from host, file name db2.data, and here also db2.data, so .txt. Yeah. So now see that it is a word wrap. Remove the word wrap. Sorry, I think I need to remove the word wrap. Okay. Yeah, these things I need to remove. This I need to remove. Now I got the data. Okay. So I have employee number, first middle initial, and then last name, work department, phone number. Now I need to send to the customer. So now I need to convert this into Excel sheet. So, and then send it to the customer. So leave about how to convert into the Excel sheet, that we'll see here. But do you understand what is the purpose of command 6?
Yes, sir.
So option 6 is transfer files or members from mainframe to PC, PC to mainframe. So I hope you understand the important options of a mainframe, ISPF.
Sir.
Apart from this, we may have a few more options. One is for a expeditor, which is a debugging tool. Abendaid, which is a Abend tracking tool. And the third one is a scheduling tool. And then version control. For 4 options are there. So scheduling tool, I'll tell you. Apart from this, okay, those are all kept in a option called V Endeavor, V XP, V Abendaid, V Betty Zeek. This is a version control tool. This is a debugging tool. This is a Abend tracking tool and scheduling tool. Like this, we may have 3-4 options available. So there are hundreds of options available. Out of the hardly we use 1, 2, 3, 4. What is the file manager option? M file manager. So hardly 5-6 options are there, which are very important. See here, self is having a 16 options. Name is having a lot of options. We don't want to go all these. Guys,
Sir.
thank you. Yeah, fine. And I got the feedback on all of you. Like, is there anybody who did not go for interviews? Anybody? Any reasons? Maybe recently I did not attend multiple classes. Any reasons? Any reasons? Is there anybody who did not attend? Because I consider candidates only from the interview list, not from these people who are attending the classes.
Sir, I'm the. Aman sir, I did not call back.
I'm sorry. Come
I
again.
didn't got a call, sir. Interview call.
Get a call.
Yeah,
Ask.
I messaged to Aman sir. Call back.
Yeah, again.
He said
Call him again. Don't you know his number?
Yes, sir, I have. I'll call him after this call.
Right. Call him and
Okay.
okay. Give the interview. Any more else?
Okay, sir.
Hello.
Oh.
So this is Rakshanda. So today is my
Yeah.
first.
Lakshanda, you have enough time, so I'll tell you. Okay. And my
Okay, sir.
I give a highest priority for the communication, because in case if I get an opportunity to place you with a lot of interviews, at least you need to go and speak something in a introduction call. So some people are in the introduction call itself. Introduce yourself. Once after joining there, you are introduced to the team. Itself people are caught. So I give highest priority for the communication. Then secondary for the subject. So all of you will get a job, no doubt in that. Whoever is joining here, 100% guarantee I give you for the job. But I need a right candidates who speak a basic English. Okay, so I go through that feedback today, and I'm going to call you one of whoever is having a that means performance, whoever is having underperformance, like I think 6 or 7 people are who did not perform well, who doesn't have a budget. So that list I got it. So I'll go through that and I evaluate it again. Again, I call them and I may terminate, okay, some of them or all of them. Thank you. That's all for today.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.